What's going on, everybody? It's Grippers here. Today we're going to go ahead and take care of part one of the Jurassic World Chaos Theory here. We have done the previous four on the channel already, so please make sure to go ahead and back and check out those. But we saved this one here for last. You know, Jurassic World is the hardest one per se. I did do a real quick practice setup. I've got about halfway through here, about 47% of the way, as you can see. It's not too bad yet, but it's going to start kicking into high gear pretty much right after I resume here. So we're going to go ahead and take care of part one. This is basically how to go ahead and set up your park, kind of get everything going here, the beginning objectives, just kind of some tips and tricks about that. So we're going to go ahead and start a new chaos theory here. This opening cinematic you actually can't skip, so you do have to kind of listen to it. It just kind of gives you a rough overview of the fourth movie, Jurassic World. So this would be a good time to go and let you guys know to make sure to like this and subscribe to the channel here for more content.
Where others before him failed. Maybe if he had you there to guide him, things would have turned out differently. Jurassic World was to be the most desirable destination on the planet. New shows, new exhibits, and yes, new dinosaurs too. The miracles of science meets the magic of entertainment. They're not content with letting you see dinosaurs. No, you're being put smack dab in the middle of them, safely. That was the hope, anyway. And who's afraid of a little water? But what's swimming in that water? Well, that's another story. And if that's not enough, what about the dinosaurs nature didn't create?
So you did get a couple of photos there from the movie. You did get to see Chris Pratt with the raptors. You saw the Indominus Rex there at the end. You also saw the very famous aquatic dinosaur there, the Mosasaurus, kind of at the end. So it's good to kind of see those things from the movie. You can skip the second cinematic here, so I went ahead and did that.
Hey, Cabot Finch at your service. Well, actually, I guess you're kind of at mine. Details. I've been tasked with getting Jurassic World ready for the public. With your help, of course. We'll begin with a science center. And it will have to be powered. So get to doing the service thing. Things are taking shape, but we need a response facility. Oh, and a paleomedical facility as well. Get it built and ready.
So the first couple of objectives here are just basically to build these basic buildings here. First one is the Science Center. That's already unlocked. Easy enough. Build that real quick. The second two are the Response Facility and the Paleomedical. Those do need researched and then easily built right after that. So let's go ahead and knock out that research and build that facility here. Research is complete there. And actually, for the Paleomedical, you do need to have 4 scientists employed. I did forget about that here. So you do have the control center kind of on the top of the screen here. It's kind of off in the distance, but you can go ahead and hire more scientists here, and you do need to do that for the Paleomedical. So I'm going to go ahead and take this guy right here. He's got 2 of each stat. Pretty well-rounded there. And we need 1 more. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one because it has 5 for logistics. That's going to help out a lot here at the beginning. So now that we have the 4 scientists, we can actually build the Paleomedical once we research it. I'm just going to go ahead and place these buildings here kind of at the beginning of the park. You do come with an innovation center, kind of from the movie, pretty standard there. And you go ahead and build these couple buildings here. You do get 3 dinosaurs here right after this, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of start building these enclosures here, but I'm going to choose to put everything basically up in the front of the park here, just to kind of make it easier. And like I said, the next objective is to go ahead and build 3 different enclosures, so we're going to go ahead and knock that out now. And you can see there at the bottom of the screen now they are active.
These assets are central to our operation. No dinosaurs, no Jurassic World. Please remember this and act accordingly.
So we are going to go ahead and get an Ankylosaurus here, as well as our Triceratops, and then you do get the standard, pretty iconic carnivore of the T-Rex, the Tyrannosaurus Rex here. So I'm going to go ahead and basically separate these guys. I'm going to put the herbivores over here on this side of the map that I'm currently working on right now, and I'll put the T-Rex on the other side there, kind of by those buildings that we already placed down. I'm just kind of freehanding this here. I don't have a specific, range of how big it's going to be. Every dinosaur has different types of enclosure needs, open space, etc., things like that. So we're just kind of winging it here. If we do need a little bit more space, we can always alter that later. No big deal, no problem at all. But the first one to arrive is going to be the Ankylosaurus here. We got about a 40-second countdown. That should be good for them. It's not the biggest enclosure, but, it'll make do. They're friendly. They're herbivores. They'll be okay. You do get this very nice path kind of at the beginning here, so I basically just run my fence along the outside of the map there. I am cutting off a little bit of space here to kind of leave room for some buildings, kind of things like that. I probably didn't leave quite enough space, but we'll always alter that here in a second. There we go. So we have one for the Triceratops here, and finally we're going to need one for the T-Rex. I'm going to go ahead and put him on this side of the map, kind of over here. I'm basically making this flush with my already placed buildings here in the park. We can always edit the environment just a little bit, or kind of extend it out, or retract the fence just a tad if we need to put a building in or something like that.
Asset has been collected.
And again, we're going to cut it off just a little bit here to leave some room for some buildings and whatnot.
Asset has been transported.
And there we go. The final enclosure there for the T-Rex is all set. It might be a little bit small. We could always extend it out here to the right-hand side, but, we never know until the T-Rex actually tells us. So, these Ankylosaurus here, these Triceratops that we already have, Personally, myself, I'm a fan of the ranger post, so I'm going to go ahead and place that in kind of each of these enclosures here. We're going to go ahead and use our ranger team here to go ahead and assign them to that. And they're going to give me an error real quick saying, oh, you don't have the gate up, but we'll fix that in just a second.
Asset unreachable.
So we are ready for the T-Rex. We'll bring him in, and we'll put in these gates here. And since our ranger team happens to be literally right here, I'm going to put this gate right next to the T-Rex enclosure just to make it that much easier for them to go ahead and get in there.
Transportation complete.
And for whatever reason, the ranger team did not automatically go to those ranger posts and check them out, but that's okay. You know, we'll go ahead and we'll force their hand. We know with every enclosure here, every dinosaur does need water, so we're going to put that in here. I know that the T-Rex is going to need some sand, a little bit of forest here, and some prey. So there's the prey. A little bit of forest. And a little bit of sand here. And he is good to go. As you can see, I got a little bit of a bar there on the right-hand side to show that he is at 80%, so he's good to go. We'll check on him just to make sure. And we can see they're 100% comfort. And the area is a little bit up. It just fixed it there, so we're good to go. The area just kind of clicks in right at the mark. Apparently he needs probably 2.2, but we do have 2.1, so a little bit of a small enclosure there for him, but that's okay. He'll be alright. So for this guy here, the Ankylosaurus, we need some ground leaf and ground fruit. There's some ground leaf. And they do need a little bit of open space. This was too small of an enclosure, but that's okay. We'll just extend it real quick here. And we'll check on the Triceratops while we're doing that right now. And we were a little bit too slow. The Triceratops did break that, but that's okay. We'll fix it in just a second here. So they need forest and ground fiber. There's the forest and there's the ground fiber. So these guys should be good to go here in just a second, but we'll fix this real quick. No big deal. As soon as he moves out of the way. Or we'll just go around him. So we do have one Triceratops that happened to get in there, so we'll go ahead and we'll take care of that real quick.
Jurassic World is the envy of the world. Where else can one travel to see wonders such as these? And they must be seen. So do what you can to increase our...
Not really sure why he broke out there, because they are at 100% comfort now, but we'll go ahead and we'll take care of that. So you do have to be quick here, or else they're going to get mad and they're going to try to run out, just like that example there. But no harm, no foul. It's very early in the chaos theory here, so just make sure to take care of that on time if you can.
Asset collection request.
I probably spent a little bit too much time with the T-Rex over there. That's kind of what did me wrong there, but that's okay.
Picking up asset.
Alright, so the Ankylosauruses are all happy here, 100%. The Triceratops, once it gets returned to its enclosure, will be happy at 100% there. And the previously mentioned T-Rex is already at 100%, so we're all good there. We're good to go now, no big deal. So let's go ahead, and the next objective here is to go ahead and increase the dinosaur visibility. How you do that is you just put in these viewing galleries here. We're going to put one right here, take care of the T-Rex.
Commencing asset transit.
And we left just enough room here to go ahead and put in these buildings. Put one right there.
Transported.
And we'll put another one right there.
Asset transportation complete.
And we'll go ahead and connect it there for the timing. We can always alter the path or kind of switch it around a little bit if we need to later.
Make sure our guests have every comfort. We should construct bathrooms and other things in strategic locations, and some emergency shelters, just in case.
Next step here is to go ahead and just gonna put in a couple of basic buildings here. We need a restroom and an emergency shelter here. They are always going to be found under the guest portion here, the little hamburger and the drink icon there. So there's the restroom, and the emergency shelter is right next to it. And since we are starting to expand the park here a little bit, we do need to have some type of power on this side of the map. So I'm actually going to go and put it here in the corner of the T-Rex enclosure. And we're going to go ahead and expand this just a little bit here. We're going to give him some room to move around. But before we do that, we're going to open the park here.
Chapter in the history of humanity.
Once these gates are open, there's no going back.
We're ready, Mr. Masrani.
This is it. Jurassic World. I can't help but wonder what John Hammond would
You also
think
can't
of
skip
this.
this cinematic, but this one's pretty quick. And I kind of like this one because it actually gives you an overview of your specific park that you made that I currently just physically did. It doesn't give you like a generic one or something from the movie. It actually shows you what you literally just built. So this is your park. It's now officially open.
We want to ensure that our guests are having the best Jurassic World experience possible. Increasing our amenity coverage should do the trick. Keep an eye on our guest comfort numbers and get them where we'd like. And that is up.
All right, so the next set of objectives here is to go ahead and basically provide some basic coverages. Guest comfort, food, drink, shopping. So we could just build a small amenity, but, bigger is always better here. So I'm going to go ahead and research the medium real quick. But before we do that, we need 250 guests in the park. So wait on that for just a second here. But we do need guest comforts. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Transport, restroom, shelter, and accommodation. So those are the couple things we need to take care of that. We can build a hotel. So we're going to go ahead and put the hotel over here by the gracious T-Rex, but put it over here approximately. While the guests are at the hotel, they actually get a very slight view of the dinosaurs, so it's actually in your favor to put those kind of close to, some high-value dinosaurs there, such as a T-Rex, a carnivore. So I'm going to place it probably right there. We're going to need some basic things here, some more shelter, etc., things like that. Shelter doesn't take any type of power to go ahead and build it, so you can actually put that kind of anywhere you want. I'm actually going to go ahead and demolish this a little bit here, just so I can put another building in here real quick. Should be able to. Maybe not, though. And there's our park rating overview. We're almost at 1 star, but we're just getting started here. But we'll definitely be able to go ahead and put a restroom over there. Restrooms are small. And now that the guests are pouring in, we should be able to go ahead and research there the medium amenity. Yep, we are good to go. Let's go ahead and take care of that. So we're going to go ahead and put our amenities basically in the middle of the map here. I'm just going to stack them kind of side to side, 1, 2, 3. But while we're taking care of that, we can improve a couple other things, such as your shelters, your restrooms, etc., things like that. So we'll go ahead and put another shelter over here. We're going to go ahead and speed up the clock here just real quick, because I do want to get these amenities in here as quick as possible, just to kind of make some more profit, get some more people in the park, a couple things like that. So our guest comfort is up to 69%. That's a lot better. It used to be at 10, so we're getting there. Looks like we could use a little bit more accommodation rating as well as some transport rating. But I'll touch on the transport rating here in just a second, because ultimately you probably should build a monorail at this point. You technically don't have to. You could kind of get the numbers just right so you don't have to put in that monorail, but you're going to need it later in the game anyways. So you might as well kind of put that up front. So now that we have access to the amenities, we're going to go ahead and stack these in here real quick. And then we'll work on fine-tuning those other couple things. So there's some food. Just trying to get as close as I can. There's some drink. And there is some shopping. Make sure to always connect those paths or else they're not going to work out. We're going to go ahead and configure them real quick just to get some more profits here. So, for example, every time you build an amenity, always check on the modules. So check this out. We have cheap burgers. We're making about 5,400 profit, which is good, but we literally put it in an aquarium and it jumps up to 15 grand profit. That's easy money right there. That's going to help us out in the long run. Fossil display puts it up to 19 grand, and anything else would technically hurt our bottom line. So we're going to go ahead and leave it there, but $20,000 for the burgers, that's a good profit right there. Same thing here with the drink. Put it in an aquarium, it's going to put up to 16. We put in a fossil display, jumps us up to 20 grand in profit. And anything else would technically lower it slightly, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. And we'll take care of our action figures here. You can change them, of course. There's a lot of different options, but I'm just going to leave it as is with the action figures there. Who doesn't like action figures anyways? So, an aquarium, that's going to give us a lot of profit there. Fish tank, that builds the profit. And it looks like a fossil display also builds the profit here, about 20 grand. And that's going to top it out. About $20,000 here is going to be the maximum profit at the current moment. So by putting these 3 medium amenities in, it checks all of those boxes for the food, drink, and shopping coverage. So you're good to go there with those objectives. So next you just have to kind of fine-tune that guest comfort here. We're at 66%, which isn't bad at all. So go ahead and click on guests here and kind of check out your guest comfort. I have 75% on the transport, 83 in the restroom, 81 in the shelter, and 64 on the accommodation. So accommodation is basically letting you know that you don't have enough capacity. You need another hotel. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a hotel here. That's an easy fix, and that should take care of the accommodation rating. We're going to put it on this corner of the map. Actually, we're going to hold on off that for one specific reason. We do need to build this monorail. That's going to fix up our transport rating, so let's go ahead and research that now, just to get that out of the way. And we need a little bit of restroom and a little bit of shelter. So we'll take care of those in the meantime right there. So here's our emergency shelter. There isn't really any room here because of kind of the innovation center they gave you at the beginning. I guess I could technically take this enclosure a little bit, so that's what I'll do, honestly. I'll just bump this enclosure out just a little bit to give me some room here for an emergency shelter. That should be good right there. We'll just demolish that real quick. And that should be enough room for an emergency shelter. And the monorail is unlocked, so we're going to go ahead and slow down the time there, just a normal time. And we did leave just enough room there, so that's good. So this territory should turn green now, since we do have the emergency shelter coming in there. Just going to fill these up here real quick. So now that we have the monorail open, I'm going to go ahead and implement that here. So we're basically working with 2 sides of the map, with the innovation center being the center. So here's the center. We have the left side of the T-Rex and a couple of things over here, and the right side with the herbivores and a couple of buildings that we will kind of push this way eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a monorail from the right side here, kind of over here, all the way to over here to increase this transport rating. So let's go ahead and start with the monorail, because it does take a lot of time to build. It's very slow. Even if you speed it up, it's still very, very slow. We're going to go ahead and put it right about here. I do want to leave myself a little bit of space just to put some more buildings and stuff over here. So we'll put it arbitrarily down there for no specific reason, but we do want to kind of elaborate and go further over there eventually. We're going to put this one right about there. Just plenty of space for more buildings and things like that. We can always alter it, kind of move it later. We will need some power over here. You could kind of research the other power options, but I'm just going to put these backup generators in. I've always used the backup generators myself. They do get rather expensive to kind of refill whenever they run out of power, but I've never had that be an issue as to where it doesn't let me complete a mission or run out of money. I've never had that issue, so, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I've heard that a long time ago, so the backup generators always work for me. I'm not going to change it. Now that the path is connected, we do have to complete the track, of course, so just go back to guess, click on monorail, and hit the left arrow there to go to the monorail track, and we'll go ahead and we'll complete this here. That was a little bit wonky, we're not going to do that. Alright, here we go. So this is actually the outside of the map, so make sure to go ahead and kind of go around that. But you can literally go over top of basically all of these buildings except for the response facility. Basically, the helicopter needs to fly straight up in order to, you know, go to whatever it needs to. So you actually can't build over top of that, but anything else is perfectly fine. So we're going to go ahead and switch that just a little bit here. There we go. Now we're good. It's going to go over top of these. And we're actually going to go ahead and move this back just a tad here. Just basically the way that I built it, but that's an easy fix. No big deal. But in the meantime here, we'll work on this side while that's being demolished. We'll speed this up here just real quick because we do need to demolish the building so we can build a new one. And they're going to meet somewhere at about this point right here. So we're going to go ahead and push it all the way back to here. We're going to move this here later a little bit, but we do need to connect the track. That's going to be too tight of a curve, so we're going to go in and edit that real quick here. And there we go. Not too sharp there, able to complete it, and this one should be easy. Yep, good to go there. So now the monorail is going to be complete. It is pretty small, but we don't have a large area of the map yet. We're just kind of starting out here, but ultimately, if we take a broad look at the whole map here, there's a lot of space down here we haven't even gotten to yet, so ultimately we can expand this monorail, we can kind of alter it later, but just for right now, to kind of nail down that transport rating, that'll be sufficient for right now. So the last piece is complete there. The monorail is good to go. It's just basically an oval, like a circle, but it does cover the whole area. So that should take care of your transport rating. Let's go ahead and take a look at our guest comfort again. Yep, right there. Transport rating, 99%. 100% is ideal, but how can you complain with that? So we need a little bit higher of a accommodation rating here. So that's basically what's holding us down right now. So we'll build a hotel real quick, and that should kick that objective and be good to go. I'm going to go ahead and put a hotel basically next to this monorail here. Guess we can slow down the time now. We're going to put this right here. You know, if people are tired, they want to get off the monorail, kind of kick it in for the night. Well, here you go. Here's your chance. Go ahead and relax, take a nap, go back to your room. Hotels do take a long time to build, about a minute and a half there, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the clock there. ×3 here. And once this hotel is complete, we probably should have our objectives there. And there's our monorail, as you can see. It's currently running. And there we go. The hotel is built. We hit 86%, so I thought that would get us through the finish line there, but it ultimately didn't. So we do need a little bit of restroom coverage here. That'll help us out. That'll give us over the hump here. So we're going to go ahead and build another restroom. As you can see, I did have a prior video about this, but I'll touch on it real quick. Basically, the green portions of the map kind of show where you do have coverage, you're good to go, no problem. And the red portion is where you're lacking, where you need it. So kind of on the right side here, we need a restroom. And over here by the T-Rex, we're going to need one as well. So we might as well put them both in just to kind of knock it out and make it a better park overall. We only need to jump up 5% here, so one of these would be sufficient and complete the objective. But we're looking to overall build the best park that we can, so we're going to build it on both sides here. And that should get us pretty close to 100% restroom coverage. And while we're waiting for those to build, they're pretty quick, but we'll just take a peek at our emergency shelter here. A little bit of red there, and nothing over there, so we just need a brief emergency shelter right here. But we're going to go ahead and destroy this backup generator. We're going to move it just a tad here. Put it closer. And our park rating has shot all the way up to about 2.25 stars, 2.125 probably. But we're looking real good here. We're making $352,000 per minute. A big increase from last month, almost 300%. So we're definitely moving in the right direction here. We're looking good. So the backup generator is complete. And once that kind of resets there, we'll be good to go. And there we go. Just need to update real quick, and it did say we're good to go. We're going to build this emergency shelter because we need to anyways, but we do have some Gallimimuses here incoming. They were made famous by the original movie of Jurassic Park. One of them ultimately fell victim to the T-Rex. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie, but it was pretty comical. The main characters kind of got to witness it as well, so it was a pretty cool scene. But you do get a flock of them. I think you get 8 in total, if I remember correctly from my practice run there. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of stick with the right-left kind of herbivore, carnivore kind of scenario there. I'm going to put these guys over on this side of the map. You do have to be careful of this monorail. It's a pretty weird shape. Kind of gets in the way of the other buildings, things like that. So just kind of avoid that if you can. If you go too far, it'll give you a red kind of outline saying, hey, too far. But no big deal, just build around it. And there we go. So the Gallimimus enclosure is going to be right over on this section here. Again, by these herbivores over here. Kind of after this objective here, we're going to get some more species of dinosaurs. I'm going to kind of build on this side of the map after that. But for right now, we have plenty of space, so go ahead and take care of that. We'll speed up the clock here just a second, just to kind of influence it.
Asset has been collected. Asset transportation underway.
And if you do kind of have like a sectioned off enclosure, what I mean is there's a big square over here, and there's kind of a big square over here. Kind of how the dinosaurs figure out their territories, they expand it. So if you place a couple over here, and you place a couple over here, they're going to basically find the whole map quicker to kind of take care of your environment here. So just a little tip there, you know, if you do have kind of sectioned off parts. And of course, everybody needs water. We're going to put a ranger post over here as well. Oops, wrong button.
Asset delivery. Transportation underway.
We're going to go ahead and assign our ranger team to the ranger post.
Dinosaurs, yay! Nothing can go wrong, like ever. We can get more species using the expedition center. This is a good idea, someone once said.
And probably my biggest error that I always have playing this game is I always forget to put gates up. I don't know why. I just forget it. But the right there at the top of the screen, Ranger team cannot find a route to its destination because we didn't have a gate. Hopefully we'll fix that at some point and put those in ahead of time, but that's an easy fix. No big deal. We'll put another gate in over here on this side here. But now they do have a route to get over there. And they are on the move, as you can see.
Asset delivered.
There is one section of fence here that apparently the Ankylosaurus tried to beat up for whatever reason, but it's not really going to cause a problem, so we're just going to leave that go. I just want to get this territory down here real quick before we kind of move on to this other objective. It doesn't really tell you to make sure that they're comfortable, but with every single dinosaur species, they do need to be comfortable here. So we did scan them. They need some forest and ground leaf. Try to take care of that as quickly as you can so they don't break out and try to run away. And that should be good to go for them. 100% comfort, they have enough water, they have enough forest, they have enough ground leaf, and enough area. So they are good to go. We can move on to our next objective here, is to go ahead and increase the total dinosaur species to 6. And every time that this guy goes in here, this T-Rex still likes to beat him up. It's kind of funny, honestly. But that's a story for another day. They're vicious. That's why that's, the T-Rex. But as long as it doesn't destroy the vehicle, it is what it is. So in order to go ahead and increase your dinosaur species, you are going to need an expedition center. It doesn't really even tell you to build that, but, by playing the game, you do need to have that here. And we're currently stuck right there. We can't build it. We'll try it over here. There we go. So it was giving us an obstruction for the monorail track. That's why we couldn't place it over on that side. Basically because this has a helicopter. If you're building it right below the monorail track, it won't be able to get back to its base. So you can't build it directly under a monorail track anytime you build an expedition center. Or responsibility for that fact, but we covered that earlier with this side of the monorail. So the expedition team is good to go. So we do need to increase it by just 2 species here. We only need 2. But what drives in guess? Carnivores do. Carnivores are always the answer here. More teeth. So I'm going to go ahead and research this. Not research. I'm going to go ahead and do an expedition here to the Ceratosaurus. So while that's being taken care of, we're going to go ahead and check on a little bit of research here, just to kind of do some upgrades, some things like that. And we actually don't have quite enough there. We do need 1 more scientist. We're going to go ahead and hire another one here. I think we have room for 2 more, actually. Out of space. We need a staff center. So expeditions take a very long time, so just try to do some stuff in the background while you can, but there really aren't any other objectives to do besides get these species, so you're kind of just stuck for the time moment. But that's okay. We're going to go ahead and get some more staff in here just to kind of take care of some research, kind of things like that. The staff center is now unlocked. I'm going to go ahead and place it over here, kind of with these core group of buildings. Now that the staff center is built, we can actually hire 2 more scientists here. So we're going to go ahead and check it out. This one seems to be the best. It's rather expensive, but money isn't an issue right here. We're at 7.7 million, so we're going to go ahead and take the cost here of 500K. It has 3s across the board, so that'll help us out a lot. And we'll look for another candidate here. 232 is not bad. 622, that's pretty good. But we're actually going to go ahead and choose the 232 here. We don't have too many high-value things we need to do at the current moment, so we can always research them, or if they aren't getting the job done, we can always fire them and replace them with a new one. But our fossils have come back here with our first expedition. Go ahead and jump over there to the Science Center. Kind of take care of them here. We did get a little bit of money, which is helpful, I guess, but we're really looking for these fossils, so a little bit disappointed with that one, but it is what it is. Actually, before I do another expedition there, I did want to do a quick research. I do want to do some improvements here for our buildings. Kind of the basic one here. The efficiency upgrade, so I'm going to go and take care of that first. We're going to speed up the clock there to make that go quicker. I don't think we'll be able to do an expedition in the meantime. We'll check on it, though. But we can do this one down here. We're going to need 2 dinosaur species. I'm going to do two carnivores, so I'm going to research this guy at the same thing, or do an expedition, I might say. I keep saying research, I apologize, but we'll take care of that in the meantime there. Just checking on everybody, just make sure they're doing okay. Alright, so the research is complete. We're going to go ahead and check on a couple of our buildings just to do some upgrades if we can here. So here's an upgrade. Staff center speed, decreased rest time by 10%. That's only a good thing. We'll take care of that. Should be able to do something here with the... Yes, we can. I'm going to increase the extraction capacity. That's going to be better for me. I'm going to be taking care of these, so I don't really need 18 to 24. It doesn't really do me any benefit, but being able to extract 17 plus 7 there is definitely a plus. Nothing there for the paleomedical, but that's okay. Expedition Center, we do have an improved yield, which is always great, so we do get either more fossils or, kind of more money, things like that, so... That's always helpful here. That should be all of them. Yeah, it's going to be everything there that we can do for the time being. But we do have some scientists that have been doing some pretty hard work here. We do need to give them a break, as this guy right here is almost disgruntled, so we're going to go ahead and give him a rest. And we'll let those 2 take a break as well while we're waiting for our expedition to come back. Then we can kind of crank them out one by one after that. So our fossils have arrived here. We're going to slow it down again. See, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more fossils, not as much cash, so this is good. It's going to give us 72% on the genome. You'd probably be able to go ahead and incubate that successfully without it failing. But I'm going to go ahead and get 100% just to make sure that everything's okay here. We'll give these guys the rest as well. So all of our scientists are busy here. 5 of them are resting because they've been working really hard for us. And the other one is currently taking care of those fossils. So whenever we do ultimately build these enclosures here, we need to make sure that we have them available. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of build this enclosure on this side of the map over here. It's a little bit hard to see kind of with the yellow there. And as we can see, our scientists are good to go now. Actually going to leave that go. I could put a building or two right there, possibly, so we're going to leave that space open. And there we go. There's another enclosure there. Kind of like a big C, I guess, per se. Yeah, it pretty much looks like a C, a capital C there. C, right there. So that should be enough room, but we are going to need to incubate these guys, so we do need to have a hatchery kind of stuck on there. So we're going to need one more enclosure here. I'm going to keep my carnivores on this side of the map. So I'm going to go ahead and probably place it over here. But I just want to look at it real quick. We don't really have a lot of space here, or we didn't leave ourselves space, at least, for kind of some viewing platforms. We probably could put one right here. We'll see if we can do that. But if not, we'll kind of use those raised ones. Actually, there is enough room there, I think. There is. There we go. That was good accidental planning there, but we'll take it. So, give us a little bit of a view into the recent enclosure here. And we can always put one in the back here to kind of oversee, kind of look over in this part, if we need it later. So it looks like our fossils have arrived here. Let's check out what we got. A little bit of money there. And that's going to be 100% there on our genome. And we're going to need one more enclosure here. Someone's going to build it basically next to this one, just to kind of add it on. And we don't really have any power on this side of the map. We're going to be expanding here probably pretty shortly, so I might be able to get, yep, right there. There we go. So we do have two partial genomes here, but they're almost complete. So as soon as this is complete here, then we'll have 100%. There we go. New complete genome. So we're going to go ahead and take care of this guy here first. So we're looking for the Carnatorus here. So that's the one we're looking at. Probably said that wrong, and I apologize if I did, but that's the one we're looking for here in our next expedition. Just to fully complete that, and then we'll be able to get our 6 out of 6 for our total dinosaur species. Looks like we did get 3 viable eggs there, so that's good. Go ahead and incubate them now. We're down to about 4 million, but, you know, carnivores are expensive, but they're well worth the price there. So as soon as they come into the park, more people are kind of be going over to that portion, spending more money, a couple of things like that. So we're going to go ahead and give some rest here for that guy. And as you can see, these are totally booked. 375 out of 375. So we could check on that real quick here. Maybe we do need some more amenities. A little bit of red over there. A little bit of red there. But how we built the park, there's nothing we can really do. And there's a little bit of red over here. So we can increase this for sure. But before we do that, we do have a dinosaur ready. Let's go ahead and let them here. So there we go. We get 3 of these big guys here. Lots of teeth, lots of excitement. Hopefully people will come over to this side of the park and, you know, check out the dinosaurs, spend their money, all that good stuff. So every dinosaur needs some water. So we'll take care of that there first. We need some prey. And some forest. We may need to alter this a little bit here. So they need a little bit more water. Just a little bit. We'll put another pond over there. They do need some more open space, though. But they're still expanding their territory. You can see this kind of blue bubble here. It's filling in slowly. I do want to make sure that these guys are okay before we move on, because these guys are carnivores. If they are upset, they are going to break out of here real quick, and they're going to terrorize some guests. That is definitely not a good thing. So I think it's going to be just big enough here. We kind of just free-handed it, and it is. It's just large enough of an enclosure so these guys are going to be okay. They're not going to try to break out, so we did get lucky there. So they are good to go. They're not going to break out. So let's finish off our last species here. We'll take that money, and we'll sell the rest of our stuff here. So we're going to finish off that. And then one thing I'd like to say here about the hatchery is that I do have the hatchery kind of placed onto this enclosure here, but you don't need to build a hatchery for every single enclosure. These dinosaurs over here were kind of given to us, the T-Rex, the Ankylosaurus, the Triceratops, and the Gallimimus way over here, but these last 2 here, you obviously need to incubate yourself, but you don't need to build a separate hatchery. If you go ahead and go to take care of these guys, you can just airlift them over there. It was pretty quick on the screen whenever we did introduce this species here, but rather than build a separate one, you can just airlift them. So just plop them over here. Rather than let them run free right here, you can just airlift them. Building an extra hatchery, for one, takes up space. It's rather large, as you can see. It takes up a lot of room. It obviously costs a little bit of money, $250K, so you know, if you can save that, you know, you might as well. So you don't need to put a hatchery in every single enclosure under any circumstance here. we're going to look at some research here real quick just to see what we can do to kind of improve the park. We can do some more cost upgrades here. That's always a good thing. Save some money. So we'll take care of that. That's okay. We'll leave it at that. We have too many scientists kind of taking care of things right now, but we'll be done in just a second here. We'll get our final species over on this side of the map. This should be large enough because it looks to be just a little bit bigger than this one, but hopefully it'll be good to go. So the genome is complete 100% there, so we're going to go ahead and take care of them now. We know for a fact that we're going to need some water here. Might as well get ahead of the game. We do have some forest in here by default, kind of just based upon the map design, so we'll kind of leave it there. I'm not really sure what these guys are going to need, so we'll just kind of wait and see. These guys are very expensive, but we did get 5 of them, so that's pretty much going to run our money dry right there. But that's okay. Money's not an issue right now. We might as well get all the different dinosaurs we can into the park. So we're going to go ahead and rest those 2 scientists here. After we do complete this mission here, this is actually going to be it for the video. So we're going to release these guys here, make sure their environment is good to go. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and cut it off there for part 1. Part 2 will be coming here pretty soon. And as you know from the movie, or just kind of your general knowledge, we're going to need an Indominus Rex. We're probably going to need a Mosasaurus, a couple of things like that. So it is going to get a little bit more difficult here as we go on, but this is just kind of how to get the park set up, kind of in a good point going forward here. Our profits are very healthy, so we're looking good there. I do want to put those ranger teams in just because I do like to have them. They kind of do the work in the background, so you don't have to physically go in and assign these ranger teams to take care of them one by one. And again, I always forget to build a gate every single time. But we'll take care of that right there. And we'll put another one down here. Not enough room there. But anyway, they have enough room there, so rather than release it into this enclosure here, you don't have to build excess hatcheries. You can just airlift them. So rather than hit X, just make sure to hit square, release via airlift.
It's become clear I can't do everything on my own. Well, it's been told to me anyway. Rather harshly, I might add. Point is, we need extra hands. So we're adding some fresh blood to the team. Meet Claire Deering.
Hi. Thank you, Cabot. Oh, I'm so excited to be part of the team. I look forward to us all working together to make Jurassic World all that it can and should be for our guests and our dinosaurs. Now, our first task is to increase.
So they need
our
some
guest
sand
count.
and prey.
I'm confident we can get this done.
There's some prey.
My understanding is that the gyrosphere attraction is ready. This is essential to giving our guests those true
And that should be
there
sand.
dinosaur moments that will drive new and repeat business. That means, of course, that we'll need
So
to
this
make
guy's
sure
actually good to go
they
here.
see
He is
plenty of
just
dinosaurs
lonely,
there.
but
More
we
than they
did
can
place some more down there, so now they're at 100%.
We can handle
So
that.
these guys are comfortable. They're not going to try to break out, so they're good to go.
While our
We do
scientists
have 6
pound,
total species here in the
I'll
park.
do
I'm
it.
going to go ahead and pause the game here real quick. We do have the 3 carnivores on this side, 1, 2, and the T-Rex makes 3. We do have our 3 herbivores here, the Ankylosaurus, the Triceratops, and the Gallimimus way over here. We do have a ranger team right there, as I can see. So I just kind of split it up half and half, with the Innovation Center being right down the middle, carnivores on the right, herbivores on the left. But this park is very large. There's a lot of room here, so space should not be an issue under any means here. You know, as the park does expand, our monorail station is going to need to expand with it here. You know, we'll probably need to either bump this back, probably one enclosure here, or, you know, build another one here on this part, somewhere like that. But, you know, we'll go into that as soon as we get there. So this is going to go ahead and conclude part 1, just to kind of get the map set up, get your 6 total species there, and make sure that all your guest comforts are maxed out. Make sure your profits are looking healthy here. We'll take a look at that real quick here. Our park rating is sitting at 2.5 stars, so that's a really good start there. Our income per minute is about 400K. Our upkeep is about 125, so we're looking at about 275 there, a profit per minute. So we're looking good. Guest comfort's at 88%, guest approval at 100, ticket sales there, amenity coverage. So we're probably going to need to work on some amenity coverage, and that'll help our profits here as well, our income per minute. So, but we'll take care of that in part 2. So that's going to go ahead and take care of part 1 here. So again, if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and check out the channel here for parts 2 and possibly even parts 3 if we need it. But this map will get more difficult. This is just to get us started. So I appreciate everybody watching here. Thank you so much.